G'day lads, Slow the Chicken here, and today we're doing another little how-to with this G37 coupe that I did a previous video on, where I made it shiny. If you want to see that video, click up here in the cards. Anyway, today we're going to be learning how to take your tyres from looking like that sort of thing to looking like a stretch sort of tyre, a bit more like this. See how the edges are shaven away? Not exactly like this hasn't been finished yet, but let's get into it. Now there are two main ways that you can do this. The first way is the easiest way, which is with a Dremel and a sanding attachment. You set your Dremel to around 3/4 power, or for me that's 20,000 RPM, and you just do it at a different angle. The other way, if you don't have a Dremel, is to use a scalpel, and then you just get the wheel and you go around the wheel. So I'll show you pretty much both of those ways now. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have the car drilled open. Once you have the car drilled open, you can take off the base and then set everything else aside, because with the base you got to remove the wheels. Now it is your choice whether you want to use these wheels or remove the wheels from another car. Anyway, removing the wheels, just get a screwdriver here. Now there are two ways to do this. You can chop off these little supports, but I tend to try and peel them back by prying it with the screwdriver. And so, see there, I'm using it. I twist the screwdriver a bit to try and make a gap for that wheel to pop out. And if you do this correctly, it means that you can reuse these supports if you want to just put wheels back in on a stock axle. Here, pry that open, and out comes the wheel. Then you got to do it to the other end. Alright, now that we've gotten the wheels free from the base, we can start making them look like they've got stretched tyres on them. So you don't need the base for this. What you do need is you need the wheels, and you'll either need your scalpel or your Dremel. I'll show you the Dremel first. Okay, so before we get to using the Dremel, first thing you need to do, put on safety glasses, because you don't want any of this getting in your eyes and hurting you. Second thing you want to do is get some pliers to hold your axle, because if you put it in your hand and have it free spinning, your hand can get really hot from the friction on the axle, and that can hurt, and then you won't get much done in the smaller round. So you want to get it in the pliers straight and have it so that the wheel on the top is spinning. Next thing you want to do, you're going to get a sanding attachment on your Dremel, set it to around 20,000 RPM, or really whatever your preference is. This is just my preference. And then you're going to want to go with the wheel, try and get it more front on for you here, and I usually start about that angle, and then you sort of move in and sort of move out, sort of work around like that, and it gets you your stretched tyre look. So I'll do a little bit for you on camera first, and then I'll time lapse the rest. So here we go, get the Dremel, get this. Just that little bit, you can see here that we're starting to get a bit of wear on that. So you just keep working at that and you'll end up with something better. So I'll work away at that now. Okay, so I've just been doing the one with the Dremel, and it's looking pretty good. Not there yet, but I thought now I would start with the one with the scalpel. And so essentially for the scalpel, you need to hold it, and essentially you just need to spin it while you're picking at it with the scalpel. So it takes a bit of stuff to get into it, but yeah, eventually you can get there and you can get a really nice looking wheel. Okay, so now that we have the wheels done, it's time to mount them back onto the base. So well, really for this, you're just going to pop them back into place and get a screwdriver and flatten down those bits that you pried up before. If you did a different way of like chopping them off, you can super glue it in, or you can just leave it completely free and just hope that it doesn't mess around too much. Once you've got the wheels on your base, then you can just put it back together with the car. And there you go. You've got some sweet stretch tyres. Sorry, that was out of focus. Got some sweet stretch tyres on that car. You'd actually be surprised at how much of a difference they make. And you might be able to see if this camera ever gets into focus. There we go. Look way better. Anyway, next thing to happen to this car is camber. So the scalpel was a lot slower than the Dremel. So if I was you, I'd be trying to find a Dremel and use that. But scalpel is all you have, just go at it and try your hardest. Anyway, I'm on the chicken. That was how to create a stretch tyre look on your wheels for your diecast car. Bye bye.
It's a lonely chicken.